Hello and welcome everybody to the inaugural Mako Rugby Roundup podcast, where we find out who the fanatics are in the top of the south when it comes to all things rugby. My name is Chris Butler and my partner in crime, Mr. Rugby himself, Mr. Les Edwards. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I'm absolutely delighted to be co-hosting the show with you, talking all things rugby throughout the remainder of the season. So much to talk about, so many things coming up, and we'll have some great interviews during the course of the next few weeks. Looking forward to it.
Yes, and lucky for everybody, this is going to be a weekly podcast, so they're going to be hearing a lot from us, Les. So we'll have to keep it entertaining. Look, we're going to be talking today, first 15 rugby. We've got senior club rugby with the MBS Women's Tasman Trophy, also the Stuffed Tasman Trophy. We've got Super Rugby, the Silver Lake deal. That's going to be interesting to talk about, and also the Tasman Mako season coming up. But first of all, Nelson College are in action, and there's a derby.
So this Saturday, 11 a.m, Nelson College are playing Waimea Combined Colleges at the Nelson College front field. So this is a really interesting game. Nelson College, fourth spot on the table with a game in hand, playing Waimea Combined, who have had a win this season, but struggling a little. So Nelson College will be looking to win this derby to back up the win they had over Marlborough Boys College in the last round. So they played in Blenheim, Marlborough Boys. They won that game 26-10, Chris, to win the Whangamoa Trophy. So they'll be looking to add Waimea Combined to their scalps. They've played 4 games, won 3. So they're travelling really well in what would you call in their development year. So in college rugby, basically you have a year where you're developing a team with the aim of getting that side experienced enough to have a real crack at the title in the second year. So last year, of course, Nelson College won the title. It's a development year for them, so they're in good stead. You know, 4th place on the table. Looking forward to them playing on what you could call the infamous Nelson College front field.
Yes, the infamous top field, Les, and many of us have been on there, and we've experienced the mud bath in the middle of the winter, and got an email the other day regarding the fact that they want to improve the standard of the front field, and you can actually buy a square.
Yes, so this is being led by the College Old Boys Association. Chris Harvey is the president of that group, and what they do want to do is re-drain the field, relay it with really good drainage, so never again will our rugby players and our other sports people at Nelson College have to play on what has been a bog at times during winter. So yeah, the buy a square is very affordable. It's $20 for a square. And yeah, it's available through the Nelson College Rugby Facebook page and also the Nelson College Facebook page. Really easy to access, but like you, I've bought a couple of squares because I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But they've decided to help themselves to get this done.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And maybe gone are the days where we actually can see which team is which, because at times basically they're just covered in head to toe. But that's what it's all about. MBS Women's Tasman Trophy. And how's this all going? Looks like Maris doing pretty well.
Yeah, well, the best team in the comp currently at the top of the table are the Waimea women from Waimea Old Boys Club, and they're hosting Mariston a top of the table game at Tahuna Nui Fields today at 1:15 p.m. So that would be well worth getting along to. These ladies, of course, are all vying to be selected for the upcoming Whara Palmer Cup season, where they'll represent the Tasman Mako. So, everyone's putting their hands up so that Coach Mel Bosman and assistant coach Billy Guyden can see how good they are with a view to being selected.
Yeah, it's a big year for women's rugby with the World Cup coming up, and the Black Ferns have got a big challenge ahead of them.
Yeah, so the Black Ferns have travelled well in their first test, beating the Wallaroos from Australia. So I was proud for them to do that in the wet up in up in Taupo. For us as a union, having our Mako women continually improve is what we're looking for. And these young ladies have really put in a lot of hard work, Chris, getting bigger, stronger, faster. And some of the rugby has been quite entertaining. So get out to Tahuna Nui, 1:15 p.m, and have a look at them run around.
Stuffed Tasman Trophy, round 6, and Kahurangi and Marist would be the pick of the bunch there.
Yeah, this is a very good game. If you live out Sports Park, Motueka Way, get there. Number 4 team, Kahurangi, hosting Marist number 6 on the table. Now, that's an unusual spot for Marist to be in. Normally they're in the top 1, 2, 3, but they've had a couple of games postponed. So they'll be looking to get their season back on track with a view to trying to make the top 4. Currently, the top 4 is made up of Stoke in first position, a couple of Marlborough clubs in that top 4 also, Renwick and Central, and Kahurangi at 4th spot. So, yeah, for the Marist team to defend their Stuffed Tasman Trophy title, they need to get on a roll, and Kahurangi will be doing everything they can to stop them.
So is there much to go before we get into semis?
There's about 3 more rounds to go,
right.
And then semi-finals and finals, and obviously, like the women, every player playing for their club is trying to impress the selectors with a view to making the National Provincial Championship team.
A couple of observations is the comeback of Stoke. I remember, was it Bill Liddell that was coaching, and he won the competition back then, but then probably a few hard years, but it looks as though they're back on top. Yeah,
they've got 2 very good teams actually. Both their Division 1 and Division 2 have been more successful of late. Their Division 2 team, a championship team. It's great to see Stoke back on top because they're getting fantastic crowds out at Green Meadows. You go out there and people are coming out in their droves to watch this team run around, and it's a good team. It's not a team of stars, it's just a well-coached, well-connected 15 players, 23 players getting out there every Saturday doing their best for their community.
And the Marlborough Signs always seem to be batting well, don't they? They're normally in the mix in the top 4 somewhere.
Yeah, actually, there's always one good team from Marlborough who's vying for top 4. This year we've got 2 of them.
Yes.
And I think that's fantastic. Renwick and Central, very strong. But, again, it's a rugby season that gets interrupted by COVID. You get postponements, it gets a bit niggly. But look, I'm really looking forward to semi-final time. It'll be wonderful. So we'll keep an eye on that progress and we'll keep reporting to you. But match of the day, as far as I'm concerned, Sports Park Motueka at 3 p.m, Kahurangi versus Marist.
And it's my great pleasure to welcome the new Commercial and Marketing Manager for the Tasman Rugby Union, I should say, Les. It's a hello to Nick Worthington. Hello, Nick.
Hey guys, how are we?
Very well, very well. Now, tough shoes to fill, would you say, Nick, or just easy? Or is there a big mess to clean up? Because, as we all know, Leslie Edwards was the Commercial and Marketing Manager for the Tasman Rugby Union for quite a while. And, Nick, you've come in to tidy things up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's basically my role, Chris. Come in and, clean the mess that he's created over 11 or 12 years.
Tell us about a bit about your background, Nick. How did you find out about the Mako position, and what did you know of the Mako?
A bit of background. Mako position was presented to me after a failed attempt at a similar position in another union. I guess a bit of fortune there, and obviously really excited to get into the role and get going. And what did I know about the Mako? Before coming down, obviously knew it was a new union in the mid-2000s there, a bit of an amalgamation between Nelson and Marlborough. And, hey, all I can say is from an outsider's point of view, is it looks like a great union, or it looked like a great union. Obviously great success on the field. You heard about the great success off it, and, just really back that up, getting in here and seeing that it's a fantastic place.
So, Nick, you've come to us from Counties Manukau.
Yep.
I understand you're a Karaka Rugby Club old boy and still playing for them in under 85 kgs. So, so your take on Counties Manukau Rugby and the Steelers?
Oh, born and bred Steeler fan. You can never look past them. Apparently it's going to get beaten out of me down here, but, we'll see how long I can resist.
Well, it's your allegiance to the Chiefs that gets beaten out of you very quickly this way.
Grew up in the Karaka region, and I've been there since I was a 2-year-old. Played there since I was 4. Played right through the grades before I went to school, and returned after a stint at a bit of league, and playing in the under 85s competition up there, and the team's still in the national comp, the mighty Karaka Razzlers. Personal opinion, best team in the nation.
Yes, yet to win a comp though, Nick, so you get that done and you can make that claim.
Yeah, exactly. If we win the national comp, suddenly we can make that claim. So,
but I'm interested in under 85 kg rugby because it's not played here in the Tasman region, and I think there must be a big opportunity for players of the lighter weight and build to have a crack, and you could well be the poster boy to get it underway here next year.
Well, geez, I thought I could introduce you as the poster boy.
Well, I'd have to drop 5 kg.
I was going to say, aren't we talking about under 85 kg?
and under 85 years of age, yeah.
Yeah. You tick both, don't you, Les?
Just.
No, it is a great grade. I think it's. I've definitely seen the evolution, if you will, of the grade. I had a lot of friends that I grew up playing it early on when it was still quite a new grade within the country, and it's just grown from strength to strength. I think that there's a great opportunity in regions like the Tasman region, and to have a team. I know that there's a team from Taranaki that made the final last year, and similar in Otago, that is kind of a bit of a melting pot of various teams and various players from various clubs.
Yeah,
and it's a great grade for that, and it's also a great grade, as you say, for younger and lighter boys to kind of step up, and we're seeing it up north as a bit of a stepping stone, for guys fresh out of school that might not be of senior men's football size or capability just yet, and it's definitely a growth grade, and looking forward to what happens with it.
Yeah, so we see a lot of drop-off, at the age of about 15 onwards, and even if kids play college rugby to the age of 18, they find that step from what they've played to Premier Rugby just a step too far. So, you could either play Division 2 with a bunch of guys. There's no weight limit to that also. So a grade of under 85s would be fabulous. But even if it wasn't a comp in Tasman, getting amalgamated side, Chris, from all around our region, getting into this national competition, I think could really spark some interest.
Yeah, it sounds like a fantastic idea, and it's always been about a game of inclusion, all sizes and shapes, and so anything we can encourage to get people involved. I mean, being active, it's about keeping out of trouble and keeping healthy, isn't it?
Yes, and this 85 kg means that, the skinny kid can have a run and without fear of being bashed, and I think that's great. If you're big and strong, go and play premiers, but otherwise have a good run around in 85s. And I understand, Nick, there's a real social aspect to it also.
Yeah, big social aspect. A lot of the guys, may have, as you say, have gone to school together or have been around a club for a long time. It's definitely a social grade. There's always a few antics going on. I've been part of a few teams, and similar to, I guess, professional organisations, there's always a theme, and that theme builds. I know a lot of teams like to go to an op shop and buy a Peaky Blinders cap and an old suit or something, and get on the Rantan on the bus trip home from a 5-minute drive down the road. So it's a great social.
Yeah, I think anything that will get people back into club rooms is always good value. But look, I'll be happy to keep working with you, Nick, on how we might get a team into that comp next year. Just as a rugby fan, I'd love to see more young people stay in the game, and this looks like a really good option for us. Nick, you must be excited, big shoes to fill. Both Chris and I wish you all the very, very best. What's the one thing that you're looking forward to the most with the Mako season?
I think got a few exciting things on the calendar coming up, and just getting my teeth stuck into everything Mako, basically.
Mate, you're a good man. I've only known you a week, but you've already made friends in our organisation, and I'm sure you're going to do very well. We wish you the very best in your new role, and I look forward to supporting you for the remainder of the year as your number 2. Yeah,
thank you very much, Liz. I look forward to learning off you.
Thank you very much, Nick. We really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Cheers. That's Nick Worthington, who's the new commercial and marketing manager at the Tasman Mako. Sounds like a good man.
Yeah, he is he's a young man. He turns 28 in February, so he's going to play Premier Rugby next year.
Wow.
But he's under 85 kg, so he's a good guy to actually try and pull a team together. I watch a lot of club rugby, as you know. I go to a game every weekend, and there are some really talented young men who fit this weight for age style. Just one name that springs to mind is Nico Barton, the fullback at Marist. He's not a big man, but he's talented, and it's the perfect competition for him, to perhaps have a shot at a national title. So why not? He and his mates.
Yeah. Sounds very encouraging. Super Rugby. It's the semi-finals, Les. We're here at last, and all the waiting is over. Crusaders taking on, well, you'd have to say, a resurgent Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs side have been very good this year. They started out with a hiss and a roar. They had a bit of a flat patch in the middle, but they're back into their winning ways. We've got a Tasman Mako player in there called Alex Nankerville.
Yes.
But of course they're taking on our local team, the Crusaders, tonight at Addington, 7:05 on Sky. And the Crusaders is our team. We've got half a dozen Mako players in that. So, my heart lies with the Crusaders. I think it's going to be a fabulous game, though. The battle it'll go 80. This is one of those games. It's semi-final rugby. You just got to stick in and last man standing will win the game.
Well, you'd have to say the Crusaders and the Chiefs have been a bit indifferent. I mean, it's not the Crusaders of last season.
No.
Well, in fact, even last season they had the odd tip-up, but they came through. And Chiefs have been indifferent. So it's going to be a very interesting match, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. The Crusaders have been tipped over 3 times, as you say, this year, which is highly unusual. And the Chiefs, like I say, though, the Chiefs have come back from a lull. This is a great matchup, and I'm excited to be getting in front of my TV at 7:05 tonight and watching it.
Blues versus Brumbies, that's tomorrow night. And the Brumbies, well, they did the business against the Hurricanes, didn't they?
Yeah.
I thought the Hurricanes actually had a good start, but just shows the quality of the side, and great to see for Australian rugby. But the Blues, they haven't lost yet, so it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I think that the Blues are just clearly the form team. Somehow Leon McDonald has, over his 3 years in charge of them, he's just changed the mindset, and he's got them really performing as a team with structure but pace and flair as well. So, we've got our little red-headed halfback, Finlay Christie, in that side, getting good quality ball and quick ball to Bodie Barrett. It's a team that should be capable of tipping up the Brumbies. But as you say, the Brumbies are a really good side, especially in Canberra. They've had to travel to Auckland. I would say that the Blues will win this. I think both these games, Chris, are going to be close, 12 and under for both of them. That's my prediction anyway.
Could be a Chiefs-Brumbies final after all of this.
It could be. I'm predicting it won't be. I'm thinking it will be the Blues hosting the Crusaders. But, yeah, anything could happen.
How about that? How about that? Yeah, it'd probably be worth, but not worth promoting gambling, but be worth a punt on that one, I reckon.
Well, $10 isn't gambling, is it? Put a tenner on it, Chris. For me. Yeah. I'm not allowed to.
The Silver Lake deal. So, finally, what is it? 80% or 90% of the clubs? I think there was only one club that didn't vote for it.
Actually, there were 100 votes Right, or 99 votes, and only one vote went against. But all 26 unions voted for it.
Yes.
But Auckland, we think it is, put in one of their 7 votes as a no, just to
keep them honest.
Keep them honest, or be Aucklanders, one of the two. So the vote was 98 to 1. Which is overwhelming. Our own CEO, Lyndon Bray, worked really hard on this to get it across the line. As you know, they all voted 100% for it about a year ago. Then New Zealand Rugby Players Association got involved, became a stumbling block. And then, the unions needed a lot of discussion, and Lyndon Bray, to his credit, did a lot of hard work. I was so thrilled for him when he came home with the deal. It means a lot, to every union. So, for example, at Tasman, we're going to be have $1 million to get into the union, which can help with cash reserves, which are important. To have reserves is important, but also some big projects that can get developed. Women's rugby, age grade rugby, Marlborough rugby, all these things need a bit of attention, so that allows us to do that. We've always been profitable, or we've always had some cash reserves. For some other unions, Chris, this means filling a hole.
Yeah.
And means that they're no longer in debt. So that $1 million per club, the 14 provincial unions get $1 million, the Heartland clubs get 500,000, which is good money. Another really neat thing is 7.5 million has been allocated for distribution to all clubs throughout New Zealand. So there'll be a process of division, but if you do roughly the numbers, it's going to look like something like around 25,000 per club, which will help many of them with upgrading facilities or clearing debt, whatever. And last but not least, there's a legacy fund of 60 million. The whole idea is to let that grow and let the interest pay for other key programs. So thinking long term.
So that $60 million, if you call it a legacy fund, it's really a foundation for the future. Is that right?
Yeah, it is a future fund, absolutely. Right. And, that can build. The other piece to the whole puzzle is Silver Lake themselves, a very, very smart global technology company who can do things with the All Blacks brand that you and I wouldn't have thought of yet, and which certainly New Zealand Rugby don't have the capability to do. But there's a whole new world out there with technology, and it could end up where New Zealand Rugby will end up owning its own television rights, because you could use technology to live stream All Black tests into people's homes without going through a third party. Those are sort of
are
things.
you saying that this podcast could be coming from Twickenham or...
But Nelson, we'll let Silver Lake distribute it globally.
Yeah, fantastic. We like the sound of that. Okay. Well, look, obviously a fantastic deal. I guess a lot of fear to where things may be going, but it's obvious. And when we look at what happened with the Black Ferns on their tour and the French and English side, who look very strong, very powerful, very professional, we have to invest if we want to keep our players, because players will hop on a plane for their family, and if they're going to be getting a good earning, they're going to be going overseas. And we've been able to retain the majority, but I think the rest of the world is catching up to us pretty quick. And if we don't do something, then we're going to be left behind. So, it sounds like a very positive deal to me.
To me, it's very positive. I've always been in favour of it. I don't see any downside. Another piece to the puzzle is they are going to have a New Zealand institutions IPO. So New Zealanders will be able to also buy in. But the guarantee is that if not enough New Zealand institutions subscribe, then Silver Lake will pick up the rest. So this Silver Lake organisation are here long term, well, at least while they can turn it around and create money out of the All Black brand. I think it's very positive.
Sounds good. Tasman Mako, it's not too far away. What are we now? June. So the first home game is in September, but the competition starts in August.
Yeah,
is that right?
So we've got 2 games over in Blenheim. We're going to play August 7. We're going to play Southland, and that's on a Sunday. And then a couple of weeks later, we're back over there to play Canterbury on a Friday night at 5:35 p.m. So that's quite a decent time, for Nelsonians. If you took the Arvo off, you'd be able to get over there, watch the game, and get back to Nelson, in reasonable time. So 2 games in Blenheim and then 3 games in Nelson, and they've introduced quarterfinals into the NPC this year, and to do that, they had to create a storm week. That is where every union has to play on a Wednesday night for one round. So we've drawn the short straw. We're going to host a Wednesday night. Next year we don't have to, but we're going to play Wellington on Wednesday, the 7th of September, 7:05.
Right.
Which is, an important and good team coming to town.
Yes.
And we're defending the Cook Strait Cup. And then on the weekend, on the Sunday, we're hosting Taranaki. So, 2 games in 4 days. Tough for the players, but they don't get to train. They'll stay off their feet. But great for the crowds.
Yes, absolutely.
2 very good teams, Wellington and Taranaki. And then a couple of weeks later, September 24, we're hosting Northland at 2:05 p.m. And that'll, we're so close to daylight saving, it'll be warmer, and we'll turn that into a great family day. Do
you know when tickets and season tickets available?
Yeah, they already are.
They already are? Great.
Yep. So if you go to mako.nz, our website, www.mako.nz, and go to buy 2022 draws, the ticketing links are there. But you know what it's like. We will wait as fans until we get closer to the time.
Yes.
Look at the weather and decide how we're going to watch it. But yeah. I'm getting a feeling, Chris, that people are really excited that they'll be able to get out and support local events again.
Well, if you see some of the crowds overseas, people are certainly getting back into their sport. And when you've been cooped up for a long time, people want to go to those things. Even going to the movies. The movies are quite popular at the moment.
And we're seeing it with club rugby.
Great.
The crowds at club rugby are really good. I think people are going to love being able to get to a park, whether it be Trafalgar or Lansdowne, and watch this very, very good team run around. This team's so good. It's 8 seasons now since they've been out. Well, they haven't been out of the playoffs.
Yes, right. Yes,
they've been a top 3 team for 8 years, and that's on the back of winning the championship back in 2013. So it's a remarkable journey that the Mako have done in the national provincial.
Well, when you think back that we were struggling to win, a second division, under Nelson Bays, and so we're the clubs. I mean, you would never have guessed this, would you? But it just goes to show that, in actual fact, within the hills, there's a lot of talent, and from an organisational structure, it's really gone, above its weight, and thanks in large part to you, Les. I mean, you've been there a while, and took it to another level, and then good old Nick, he's going to come in and he'll bring some youth and exuberance to that role as well. And that's what you want. You want to be creating legacies and just building on the philosophy of hard work, which is what it's all about. Yeah,
I think that what I'll look back on the most is just the increased brand power, if you like, of the Mako and the Fins Up. Yes. I mean, people are embracing the Mako and Fins Up, and our players, every time they score a try in Super Rugby, they're delighted to acknowledge where they come from with the Fins Up. So it's been 12 seasons. This will be my 12th season. It's been a pleasure. And I'm looking forward to helping Nick, take it to the next level, because you've got to have ambition to always improve. So,
well, they won't get rid of you, Les, because we're going to be hearing you on a weekly podcast. Your voice will be through the airwaves, and of course onto bigger and brighter things. So that's it for the inaugural Mako Rugby Roundup, and my thanks to Nick Worthington for his time. Congratulations to him and all the best. And of course to you, Les, welcome aboard, mate, and let's see where this bus goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Chris. Fins up.
Fins up. You can hear the podcast on talknelson.co.nz or on the Facebook page. You can also hear it on Fresh FM, and we'll speak to you again next week on Mako Rugby Roundup. Have a great weekend.